Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's reading, it's going to be very simple. It's going to be ancestral messages. There are two piles to pick from. Whichever one resonates with you, whichever one is calling your name, is obviously your pile. Anyways, we'll get into the reading. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my description. See if there's any decks you would like to purchase me or see on my channel. But if not, that's completely fine. Anyways, thank you so much. Let's get into the reading. Hello, pile number one. Welcome to your reading from your ancestors. Let's see what messages they have for you. So starting off with the general energy with the card that you picked, which is Thoth. All right. Divine masculine energy. When I think of like divine masculine energy, I think of strength. I think of war, to be honest with you. In this case, like I feel like the reading could be saying that like, hey, you're divine masculine yourself, or that's just the energy that you resonate with. Maybe like the path, the storyline that you're in right now has a lot of that energy, or maybe, you have a lot of masculine ancestors that are talking to you at this current point in time with this message. But that's kind of like the energy around it. Maybe you're in a situation that is involved with a divine masculine or, divine masculine deity or spirit of some sort. When I think of like that divine masculine energy, I think of like intensity. Why I have some type of like strange like stutter and slur sometimes. Intensity. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of intensity in the energy, in the space. So yeah. Who is delivering this message though? Let's get in depth of who is delivering the message. Okay. I feel like maybe the person that is delivering this message may have been alive with you at one point. So I don't think they would be like that old of an ancestor. They could have messed up the relationship between you guys, but that's not for everyone. So bear with me. Maybe this person has experienced a lot of like betrayal in their life, a lot of pain and discomfort, especially if they were like a witch of some sort or a magician. They could have experienced a lot of betrayal in their life in regards to the people around them. But this person comes to you to teach you about the truth and help you in all aspects of your truth, in your soul, and who you truly are deep down inside, beyond the physical body, spiritually. So in lives that they have lived on this earth, they've experienced a lot of pain. Anyways, what messages do they have for you? Generally speaking, what are the messages that they have for you? I don't think I have to put the cards on top of each other anymore now that I think about it, because I did zoom out. So I guess we can do that. Sorry. I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to see. Okay. So I feel like the overall message. Let me slow down when I speak. I feel like the overall message that is being given at this current point in time. I feel like this is a message of healing, of fixing your thoughts. I feel like your story is similar to this ancestor that's delivering this message. You have similar stories. So maybe in your life, you have felt a lot of betrayal, a lot of hurt and anger, especially from people like you love, people you trusted. And you just think to yourself, like, how could someone even be this way? Especially if they're like your family, someone who's like blood related to you. You just think to yourself, like, how could someone ever be this way? Especially towards someone that they love or claim they love. You know what I mean? And there's been a lot of like just pain from the past that you're experiencing when it comes down to these like betrayals, and I guess like obviously you were blindsided. You weren't expecting the people that you love to be so callous and do something like that, but it happens. And a lot of these events that you've experienced, you're still hurting about, to this day. And that's so let me slow down. That's okay. That's okay to be hurt and feel sad about the events that, you've experienced. Because you're not alone. You know what I mean? I feel like this is maybe like a repeating cycle that's just going on in your ancestry that needs to end, But I feel like you need to use these events, use this pain as a way to catapult you forward in your journey. These events happen for a reason, it's not happening because it's not happening because it's showing you that you can't trust other people. It's happening because it's a part of the path, the journey that will lead you to where you need to go. What's calling to you divinely and not others. Because not everyone's story is meant for you. I feel like that's why these events have happened. So you've felt a lot of pain from those things that have happened, obviously. We've addressed that. We've situated that. But it's time to heal. It's time to move forward because this pain is opening the door to something different. To the truth, which is your truth. See, your ancestors have dealt with this type of pain. But the cycle got to stop here. People in the blood are hurting each other. That's why this continues repeating. It's repeating because everyone is used to experiencing it in your blood. So maybe unconsciously, they pick up on that behavior and do it towards other people. I feel like even then, with a lot of humans, everyone always feels the need to be right. Everyone always feels the need to have their truth be the ultimate truth. But sometimes others need to recognize that everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own divine path and mission. And a lot of people will hurt others because they feel as though, I guess maybe they feel as though the truth is the only truth that matters. Some people are like that on this earth. But you're having to learn that the reason why this is happening, the reason why you've experienced these events, is because it's leading you towards your higher truth, your story. You know what I mean? Like, I hope you're understanding what I'm saying, because I'm stuttering quite a bit. But I feel like this truth will come to you in its own ways, through thoughts. You know, I remember after I felt like really betrayed by like my parents, I noticed that I noticed that there was a calling to understand myself more after that. You know what I mean? Because it was like, obviously, like the teachings and things like that they're teaching me are not resonating. You know, if this is the type of behavior that they choose to have with the teachings that they teach, if this is the way that they act with their teachings, like this is not meant for me. So it made me look in on myself. And there were signs, there was things that led me to where I needed to go. Especially when I opened up and I was like, you know what, I'm done with this bullshit. Like when I said I was done with the bullshit and I opened up, I started seeing like my truth. I started finding my own way, my own path. And since then I felt so prosperous, so blessed. You know what I mean? So you need to open up to going your own way. And with this divine masculine energy, I feel like it's just taking the initiative. You know, using your strength. Becoming the king of your journey. You know what I mean? The king of the flame. You need to be strong and you need to move forward. You need to push forward on your path and journey. You're not the one that, you know, other people may want for you. You know, whether that be, you know, friends or family. And, you know, anyone in general, honestly. So you can't keep thinking about how people have hurt you. Use that pain to move forward. You know what I mean? Use that pain to inspire you to make great change in your life. To show others, you know, I can do everything. You know, I can do all that you think I can't do and more. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what it's talking about. And the Red Queen is always about looking in on herself. All the messages, the journey that you need to go down is within. You know what I mean? You'll find the path within. It'll reveal itself. Those signs that you keep seeing is telling you where to go. You know what I mean? But you have to trust them. All right? And see, the thing about Artemis, you know what I mean? She has her target. She knows what she wants for herself. You have to adapt that same type of energy. You know, the reason why I feel like for me, when I like think of masculine energy, I think of war a lot. Because when I was a little girl, when I was a little kid, I liked war. I liked war things, I liked war shit, all right? I don't know, I just was into it, you know what I mean, as a baby kid. So I usually think of like war when I think of that type of energy, but I feel like a lot of people, I feel like when it comes down to applying that type of energy in your life, I feel like it could be very helpful. You know what I mean? I feel like when you look at your truth and you look at your story, you know, as if it's war, as if you have to win, as if it's like the stakes of your own country, your country being your soul, your mission, your journey. When you look at it like that, then nothing can really stop you from achieving what it is that you want. You know what I mean? So I would say, you know, use that type of war energy. Even if, what am I trying to say here? Even if you're a girl, use that type of king energy, resonate with that type of king spirit when it comes down to your path. Because at the end of the day, no one should be able to rock you off your path, period. All right? That should be how fortified you are on your journey. To where the path, what am I fucking trying to say? That's what I'm trying to say. Where the past doesn't affect you that much anymore. It inspires you to move forward. It inspires you to be stronger. All that betrayal and hurt and pain that you have felt inspires you to be stronger than what was done to you. There you go. So now let's move on to the next part of the reading. How can you act on this message? Okay. We have Hanged Man. King of Pentacles. Okay, Nine of Wands. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, how can you act on the advice of your ancestors? I feel like what they're saying, I feel like the way you can act on this is by taking it one step at a time. Sorry. I feel like the way you can act on this is by taking this like one step at a time. You know what I mean? You don't have to be like the fucking lord of all lands just yet. You know what I mean? You got to conquer each land one step at a time, okay? If you want to be the king of the world, the flame of the world, you got to conquer one step at a time, okay? You start with the smaller lands. You know, the lands that are very defenseless, that don't got a lot of like military power and strength. You start with them. You start working your way up, you know what I mean? The ones that kind of have a little bit of some military, okay? But you can easily plow through them. And then you start building an army behind you. You see? You start building up an army from all these other lands, all the lands that you've conquered. You start building up an army behind you to conquer the overall goal, which is the world. So you got to start one step at a time, okay? Start off with the small traumas. Start off with the things that, you know, are small, that can push you towards the path of your destiny, push you towards the path of what it is that you truly want at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So whatever goals, whatever like career, whatever path you want to go down, you got to start off with the small shit first. You know what I mean? You know, let's say like this is a business, okay? We got to start off with like, okay, what's the name of the business? You know, how are we going to do this business? You know, how are we going to, let's think about getting an LLC set up. You know what I mean? Like, just you got to start off small first. Then you get bigger. And then you start, you know, tackling the bigger traumas and bigger things and, you know, things that are in the way of where it is that you're trying to get to, okay? And you open yourself up to prosperity. When you heal yourself, when you work towards giving to yourself, you know, the universe gives back. That's just always how it is. You bring in money by doing that. You know what I mean? I feel like right now you guys are kind of in a hanged man state. You're just kind of like, well, you know, there's been a lot of fucked up shit that's happened to me. There's been a lot of people who have betrayed me. And I feel like I can't trust anyone. I don't even know what to fucking do. There's a lot of pain and shit that's going on right now. And that's okay, because I've been there, done that, okay? I've sat up there in the middle of the night just staring at the wall like, what the fuck am I ever going to do? But what you have to do first, what you start off with, is the small. You first start off with you know, announcing, what is my truth? What is the truth that is speaking to me? What do I resonate with? You know? What is it that I love? You start there, and then you start figuring out about your journey. You start figuring out about where you need to go. So you have to start off small. You know what I mean? You can't become the emperor and king of the world by just like fucking tackling the biggest country, okay? You don't fucking start off with attacking the United States. You start small. You know what I mean? You start with the small countries, the countries that, you know, can be easily pushed over. Okay, you treat that like your trauma. Okay, you start off with the small trauma, the trauma that you can work through, you know, easily. Or I guess more easier than the rest, you know what I mean? And then you get to the big shit. The shit that makes you like, you know, stay up at night. You know? But you start small. Didn't mean to spit on my fucking cards. Ew. You start small. You have to start with the small shit first. Yeah, but you gotta start small. And then you get big. And then you become the king and lord of the world. That's how you can tackle this shit. Okay? So let's wrap this up with the final messages from your ancestors. All right? Let's end this off with the final messages. Oh my god, why is this card? Okay. Hope you guys can see everything, all the cards. Let me move them over, because I feel like you can't. Okay. Okay, well, we know they're not going to be straight, so... Anyways. Ending off this ancestral message. See, listen, Queen Mother Nanny, her story is very interesting, okay? Because do you know how many fucking people she's liberated in her life? Okay? She's a real warlord if you really think about it, okay? Her energy is very strong, okay? It's very intense. All right? She is the definition of liberation, okay? You have to carry that type of energy with you when you're liberating yourself from the shit of the past, of the trauma. It is also, you know, you will feel more liberated when you break down those masks. But I feel like by mask, I feel like those masks are, you know, the pain of the past. You know, the shit that has happened to you. I feel like that's the masks that, you know, hold you hostage, in a sense. But you gotta start with breaking them down. Deciding that, hey, I'm gonna fucking release this shit. We're done here. This is the end of the story. All right? You gotta start with deciding that, yeah, you wanna be liberated. You don't wanna deal with this shit no more. There's a lot of things that you desire. You desire a very prosperous, very fulfilling, very abundant life. If you wanna live that abundant life, you gotta start off with destroying the shit that tries to take your abundance, okay? You gotta put on your fucking war pants and be like, you know what? I'm done with you. I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna behead you, all right? I'm gonna put you on my case with all my heads. You gotta start off with announcing that that's what you're gonna do. That you're gonna end this, that you're gonna end the pain, that you're gonna end the cycles that keep going on and on and on. Because to get to to live the life that you desire, to have total prosperity, you got to stop resisting. You got to accept that something got to change, that something got to give. You got to accept that something has to change and give. You have to. Because you're not going to get anywhere if you don't. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like honestly this message just like rounds off everything that I've been saying. You know, the truth that you're looking for will speak to you. It will come to you. It will come to you in thoughts, dreams, music. It's in your heart. It's in the past. And the stories of the past and all the lessons that you have experienced. The betrayal. Where is this betrayal happening? How are you being betrayed? Whatever that problem area is significant for a reason. You got to discover your own truth and live your own truth to live a prosperous life. And like I said, you got to start off small. And even starting off small is just being like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this shit. This is my life. So we're going to live it my way. You can start there. And then all of a sudden, you're the fucking lord of every single world. You know what I mean? So that's the messages from your ancestors. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe. If not, my apologies. Dislike it if you choose. No, I'm just joking. I'll see you very soon. I love you so much. Take care and goodbye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. All right. Messages from the ancestors. Okay. So the overall energy of this message and of you guys at this current point in time is AVALON Priestess, Intuitive Awakening. So right now, at this current point in time, your internal compass is leading you towards something that is calling to you spiritually and psychically, okay? This could also be like a physical calling, like maybe something that you need to do, something that you need to acknowledge in your life, a path and opportunity. But I feel this is like more spiritual since we have like a lot of moon imagery in this and a candle. Like the flame, I believe, is honestly a reflection of the soul, of who we are, of life itself. So I definitely think that this is definitely a spiritual type of thing. And maybe it's going to start off spiritual. And it's going to cascade down into... Sorry, a plane's passing by. You may not hear though. I feel like it's going to start off spiritual, in the spiritual body. And then it's going to manifest physically in like things that you need to do, opportunities that are calling to you, you know what I mean? So I feel like right now, this is a very powerful spiritual awakening. This is maybe just another one in the journey because we have several spiritual awakenings over our lifetime. So this could also be a divine feminine thing, especially with the moon, but this message, honestly, I feel like is for everyone. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a girl to take this message, but if you are, a woman, this could be kind of like a transition, you know what I mean? Between, the triple goddess, you know what I mean? Maybe getting into the crone ages. This could be a transition between, the triple goddess. That makes sense to you. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, but I do feel like this, honestly, this message is for anyone that it resonates with, okay? So let's just get into the messages from the ancestors, okay? Okay, so who is delivering this message? We have Dragon Goddess and Madame Soleil. So there's a lot of sun energy, which is interesting because your overall energy is like very moon, very shadow-esque. But I feel like the person that is delivering this energy resonates with the sun, with stars and things like that. Personally, for me, I think of Lucifer when I think about like the sun, the stars, and that type of energy. Which is very interesting because this is the ancestral message. But what can we say? Right? I mean, I'm not going to say that it isn't possible. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I feel like the person that's delivering this message resonates with a lot of like solar energy. a lot of heat and fire, very infernal energy. You know what I mean? A lot of moving energy, like intense moving energy. That's how I feel. Dragons are also, symbols, I guess, of knowledge. So, someone who's very knowledgeable and wise resonates with a lot of fire energy. Could be a fire sign themselves, but maybe has worked with fire in the infernal. All right. So that's who's delivering the message. What is the message? Anyways, what is the message from your ancestors, okay? If you can see that. I might slide these cards down. Hopefully everything's focused. This is like a really weird way of me putting the cards down. Whatever. We're just gonna have to deal with that, okay? Let me go put some lip gloss on because my lips are chapped. So I'll be right back for a minute. Okay, let's get into the message. So the overall message from the ancestors. You're discovering like another new form of magic. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to be patient with mastering this new magic that you may be discovering. Obviously, since this is new to you, I feel. Either that, or I feel like you need to be patient, honestly, with like your growth. I feel like I'm spitting a lot. Like, do you see that? I hope not, because embarrassing. Anyways, I feel like the ancestors are telling you to be patient with yourself, especially since you're going through another awakening. I feel like this is about maybe releasing some of the pain from the past when it comes down to you, maybe how you feel about your situation or yourself in general. This awakening is like, it's showing you gifts that only you have. And to be able to tap into those special gifts, you need to acknowledge the divinity of yourself, the magic that you have within you. I feel like pile number 1 might resonate with you a little bit, especially if like your trauma is familial. So you have a lot of gifts. Not a lot of people can compare. And you may not even recognize that you have them because they have to be like unlocked. Things have to happen before you can tap into them. Maybe they're slowly showing themselves right now. Especially with like the earth magic energy that we are having right now. I feel like the only way that you can tap into these gifts is by practicing a lot of self-love and self-reflection. Maybe even like sitting in nature and just connecting with like the wind and the elements around you. I feel like the wind in particular, especially since I hear it outside my window right now. But you need to connect with those elements because they can teach you a lot about yourself, your part in nature here on this earth. Those gifts could probably even be in like hearing, like clairaudience, hearing things. So that's why maybe you need to like take a second to sit out in nature and just listen to the wind. Maybe gather messages through the wind itself, if that's possible. You can just open a window. You don't even actually have to step outside. I mean, you should. If you have the ability to step outside, then step outside. Like, get out in nature and connect with the elements. But you can just, like, open your window and just listen to the wind, especially if it's, like, really windy. You know what I mean? Just listen to it and gather, like, what you're hearing. Gather what messages you're feeling. I feel like, honestly, that's a way that you can, like, train the gift that you have, which I really do feel like is, like, a clairaudience of some sort. You can, like, hear things that are beyond the plane that you live in. But you have to really tend to these gifts to be able to, you have to tend to these gifts for them to be strong. So you have to sit down and you have to actually use them. But you also can't be hard on yourself. Because this is a learning process. To get higher in your spiritual journey, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of growth and time. But also, like, when you connect with, like, that power of love, especially self-love, and taking care of yourself, you align yourself with, like, your soul, your spirit, your body. It's honestly, like, the little things, like, just, like, taking a shower and, like, washing your body. You're just in that moment connected with your physical body, your physical being, just being a human, just taking care of yourself. When you take care of yourself and you nourish yourself physically, it also happens spiritually, which also nourishes and develops and helps your gifts grow. So you have a lot of gifts that you have. There's a lot of gifts that you have that you need to tap into. And you can unlock those gifts through a lot of self-confidence, through a lot of self-love. And patience, of course, because it takes time. You know what I mean? So how can you act on this message that has been given to you by your ancestors? How can you act on this? Okay. Okay. Let's just move these cards over a little so we can see the whole entire message. Okay. You can act on this message. Obviously, like I said, like there needs to be some connection. There needs to be like a deep connection between your physical body first before you can really tap into your spiritual gifts, you know what I mean? So especially with like Agarthans, like if it's reversed, it usually highlights like neglect, or I guess like some type of like strain on your physical body, especially if like you're going through illnesses right now. Let me just wait for this pain. Let me just wait for this plane to pass because I can't think when it's flying over. Okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Listen, especially with like Agarthans reversed, that usually like highlights a disconnection from like the physical being. Especially like if you're going through like sickness and stuff like that right now, like I really do feel like there's an emphasis that like you really need to lock in and connect with your physical body. And that can be through all types of self-love. You know, especially if like you have insecurities or just honestly hate on yourself. When you do that, like you hurt your spiritual being as well. I mean, when like you're being a hater towards yourself, like you're hurting yourself spiritually just as much as you're hurting yourself physically. You know, I mean, your body takes in the things that you're saying. So if you're always like, you know, my body fucking looks horrible. If you're just being a hater towards yourself, then like it's going to fucking play out spiritually, physically. You know, spiritually, you're always going to be feeling fucking drained. You can't lock in, connect to your gifts, especially the gifts that you have, the special gifts that you have. And then it's like you're going to be getting sick, fatigued, you're tired, or you're burnt out because you're just being a fucking hater, okay? You can't be hating on your physical self. You can't be neglecting yourself. You can't be doing that type of shit if you want to align with the spiritual awakening at hand. You know what I mean? Because we are all beautiful exactly the way we are. And we look the way we are for a reason. That's what I believe. You need to lock in with like your physical being. You gotta lock in with it, okay? And by lock in, I mean like you gotta start loving it. You gotta start taking care of it. You gotta start cherishing it. But not only do you have to just start cherishing it, loving it, taking care of it, you have to listen to it. You have to listen to what your physical body is telling you. Especially if you're experiencing pain and shit like that. Man, pain, God, stop spitting. Pain usually tells you that there's something that you need to listen to. There's something that your body is trying to tell you at this current point in time. So, that's what I feel. That's what I feel it's saying. But there's also like a lot of like things that you have within yourself. It's 222. There's a lot of things that you have within yourself that you might deny. See, it's not even just on like a physical level. It might also be spiritually. See, the gifts that you're going to discover that you only have, they can only be tapped into if you tap into your shadow. You know what I mean? You can use your clairaudience, the natural gift that's given to you, and really like fucking have that shit at its all-time high, have that shit be strong. Have that shit be strong when... I forgot what I was saying. Like, I literally forgot my train of thought. Have that shit be strong when... Oh, when you're locked in with, like, your fucking shadow. When you're locked in with, like, the deep, true you, the deep, true soul that you possess. You know what I mean? I feel like there's, like, an aspect where it's, like, maybe a lot of this should I say, I think a lot of this self-loathing comes through a shadow. What is your shadow trying to tell you? Where is this trauma stemming from? How can we dismantle this? How can we break this and lock in and connect with our spiritual gifts at hand? How can we do that? I feel like you guys need to do a lot of shadow work in that aspect. But I feel like this message is also like saying like, I feel like it's also saying that to be able to be your truest self, to be able to elevate spiritually, get to that next level, you have to have that energy, that strong energy that comes with it. You have to... I'm gonna fucking shut the window because literally these planes are passing by left, right, and center. Give me a moment. I didn't know what I expected. Like, I fucking live near an airport, but like, listen, I was just trying to get that fresh air in my room. I was trying to like air it out, but these planes won't be fucking passing by left, right, and center. Like, calm down. Anyways, to be able to tap into the energy, to tap into that fucking growth that will be happening, the growth that you're about to experience, that next level in spirituality, you have to have that type of energy. You have to have that bold energy. You have to establish that this is what you want. That you want to get to that next level, that you want to be able to tap into the gifts that you have. All right? Are you feeling what I'm saying? It also might be like, you know, an attitude of like lack. Like you feel like you can't be this fucking amazing, powerful powerhouse of a magician, but you can. You know, quit playing it safe. You got a lot of fucking magic within you that not a lot of people have that or can compare to, you know what I mean? So you can't deny the magic that you have within yourself, the gifts that you have. You also can't deny the power of yourself, period. Physically and spiritually, okay? Inside and out. Because there's power in both aspects of yourself, okay? There's power in like the fucking beauty aspect, and there's fucking power in that magical aspect, okay? The spiritual aspect that you have. You know what I mean? Like, are you catching my drift? So anyways, let's like get into like the last messages. Like, what other things are your ancestors trying to say? What other things are they trying to say? Rounding off the tarot. So, we have the sun and the moon, which is really interesting. Like, those are the two polar opposites of yourself. That's kind of like shadow and light. Like the darkness in that, and I guess the part of yourself that you showed everyone. It's like a union. You need to unite those two polar opposites that are within yourself. The part of you that you have to hide alone. And that part of you that you show to everyone. You have to unite both of those to be that master power, to be the flame. To experience spiritual growth and your intuitive awakening. Is that spit? Ooh. You get to unite both parts of yourself. And you can do that through acceptance, through healing, through growth, through accepting to be you unapologetically 100%. See, like when I think of the devil, there's a lot of things that come to my mind. But I feel like in this aspect of your reading, the devil is like that threshold, that thing you need to face to grow stronger, the thing you need to face to bloom. You know what I mean? You have to unite with that darkly energy that's within yourself to experience growth and prosperity. But it could also be like, I feel like also in another sense, the devil can also represent the ability to honestly just be yourself unapologetically without worrying about what others think. Especially if like a lot of the self-loathing and trauma that you have been overcoming or are now overcoming, especially if that is attached to other people and their opinions, I feel like it's okay to sometimes be the adversary in somebody else's life if that means that you're healing, that you're happy, that you're appeasing yourself and growing. You know, it's okay to fucking be the villain. You don't always gotta be, ideal in everyone else's story. That's just a part of growing as a human. Not everyone's gonna fucking vibe with you. But you have to recognize that you only got you, really, at the end of the day. Yeah, we got all these spirit guides and ancestors and fucking soulmates. But at the end of it all, you're you. You're living your life. You're making your own decisions. You're living in your own physical body. It's about time that you take care of it, that you honor it, that you accept it. Because I feel like it all comes down to acceptance. You'll be able to really tap into your gifts when you just accept who you are, period. Even if that fucking makes you a criminal in other people's stories. That's fucking fine. You don't always gotta appease everybody. Not everyone's meant to fucking be appeased. And the King of Swords is obviously very representative of knowledge. So I feel like, honestly, a lot of the knowledge that... Just don't like fucking... I'm sorry. I'll just be like spitting everywhere. It's like disgusting. I feel like, honestly, all the knowledge that you need is within you. So to be aligned with that magical knowledge that you are seeking, you first have to fucking align yourself, with your body. Okay? I honestly feel like that is a message from the ancestors, okay? So, if you enjoyed this reading, feel free to flip and subscribe. If you didn't, my bad. And I'll see you very soon. I love you so much, and goodbye.